The depressing chorus in her mind attempted to start up once again, but she quickly stifled it. The travel difficulties, the heat, and the smells were all temporary. Soon she would be on board, and her adventure would begin. With the encouragement of her BFFs, Sheridan, Delaney, and Lucy, Darcy had come up with a fantastically brilliant plan to turn the disappointment of having to return to a job she had grown to hate to her advantage. Previously, she had only expressed the naughty side of her personality in the novel she was working on. But with her pals spurring her on, Darcy had decided this was her chance to trade in her Miss Goody Two-Shoes image for a pair of bright red stilettos and to use those spike heels to take a walk on the wild side. Now, all she had to do was find the right man. So far, the pickings had been mighty slim. Her fellow passengers seemed to be mostly couples. Among the few single men, there seemed to be more Mr. Magoo's than Mr. Magnificence on board. And just this one time in her life, she intended to be shallow. She'd choose a lover for his appearance, not his character. A man who was well-versed in the art of pleasuring a woman, but not interested in any emotional ties. A guy she could kiss goodbye at the end of the 10-day cruise and not remember his name by the time her plane touched down at O'Hare. In sum, a Ken doll with working parts and a much bigger joystick between his thighs than the original plastic toy. Darcy's wicked train of thought derailed when a drop of sweat trickled down her nose. The salty taste on her lips brought her back to reality with a thud. Great. She hated to think of what she looked like, hair frizzing in the humidity, any trace of makeup long since melted away, and clothes wrinkled from the long trip. She definitely needed a shower before beginning the search for her dream date. Someone clearing their throat made Darcy realize that the line had started moving. And with an apologetic smile, she bent to scoop up her belongings. Juggling her purse, carry-on, and laptop, she attempted to take a hasty step forward. But a sudden gust of wind rocked the unsteady gangway, and her knees buckled. Stumbling backwards, she collided with the man behind her. Horrified, Darcy stared as his sunglasses were jolted from his face and his briefcase dropped from his hand, bounced, and flew through the open railing. For a moment, it hovered in midair like a stealth bomber, then plunged to the dock below, where it burst open and spilled its contents into the ocean. Darcy's eyes widened as she watched the papers become soggy and begin to sink. Reluctantly, she turned to face the guy whose property she had just destroyed. Her gaze ran from tan ankles between tobacco-brown boat shoes and khaki pants to broad shoulders straining the fabric of a black polo shirt. Moving upwards, crisp, sun-streaked hair and faded denim blue eyes completed the yummy package. Oh my God. He was gorgeous. The words of remorse she had been about to utter died on her lips. Her mouth went dry, and it felt as if a swarm of bees had been set loose in her chest. Then, as she tried to clear the lust from her brain, his incredible eyes locked onto hers. She felt a sizzling jab in her stomach, and her mind went blank. He continued to stare at her for a moment, forehead furrowed.